let's break down the most nightmarish villains that have ever crawled their way into the web slinger's iconic adventures. My name is AJ with Top 10 Nerd. Yes, I shaved my mustache. And these are the top 10 scariest Spider-Man villains from Marvel Comics. At number 10 is the obvious Venom. Born from the unholy union of an alien symbiote and the embittered reporter Eddie Brock, this malevolent force emerged as an embodiment of Peter Parker's absolute worst fears. In the comics, Venom's sinister plot unfurled in the shadowy corners of New York City as he relentlessly pursued a vendetta against our friendly neighborhood hero. Armed with intimate knowledge of Peter's life, Venom's malevolence reached chilling heights. He would haunt Aunt May's doorstep, casting an eerie shadow over her once safe haven, and sent shivers down Mary Jane's spine in the very home she shared with the web-slinger. Now, while Venom recently has undergone a reluctant transformation into an anti-hero, his origins continue to haunt Spider-Man's psyche, proving even that in the world of comics, nightmares can endure. At number 9 is Morbius the Living Vampire. Introduced in 1971 with The Amazing Spider-Man 101, Morbius is no ordinary vampire. He's a scientist turned blood-sucking bad boy due to a failed experiment which aimed to extend his life by curing his rare red bodily fluid disease. This tragic transformation adds depth to his character, making him both terrifying and sympathetic. And fun fact, Morbius actually appears during that same story arc that had Spider-Man grow 2 extra pairs of arms. Yup, the 6-arm saga, which is terrifying in itself, saw Spider-Man accidentally give himself extra limbs after trying to get rid of his powers, because that flows logically, but he only managed to cure himself thanks to an enzyme in the vampire. Anyways, Morbius's blend of science and horror taps into our fear of losing control over our humanity. Battles with Spider-Man challenge not just the hero's physical abilities, but also his moral compass. This complex antagonist pushes us to ponder the boundaries of good and evil. And if you're enjoying this video so far, you can support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing that notification bell. At number 8 is the Demo Goblin. One can't help but shudder at the sinister transformation of the Hobgoblin into the Demo Goblin. I mean, the Hobgoblin was already scary enough, just jeez. This haunting tale unfolds when the Hobgoblin, desperate for the power to vanquish the wall crawler once and for all, entertains a diabolical bargain with Nazareth, a demon of malevolent stature. But rather than directly claiming his soul, Nazareth opts for an unholy possession, forever intertwining the Hobgoblin with this demonic entity. Within the Hobgoblin's shell, an otherworldly struggle ensues, leading to the expulsion of the infernal force. Yet, instead of retreating to the abyss, the vanquished demon materializes as this ghastly Demogoblin. Driven by an inexplicable yearning for redemption, the Demogoblin embarks on a ghastly crusade targeting sinners of all kinds, from ruthless unalivers to mere fibbers, as it seeks to carve its way back to the celestial realm. This spine-tingling saga showcases the chilling depths Marvel Comics can plunge into in pursuit of the scariest Spider-Man villains. And speaking of which, at number 7 is Sin Eater. In the Marvel Comics universe, not all villains are flashy, superpowered beings. Meet Stanley Carter, for instance, a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent turned NYPD officer who snapped after his partner's demise, who perished in the line of duty, and Stanley Carter became the chilling serial unaliver known as the Sin Eater, who vowed to take out those he felt were sinners. His victims included a police captain, a judge, and even a priest, with Spider-Man nearly crossing his own moral line in the process. Now, what sets Sin Eater apart is his lack of interest in being a traditional supervillain. He's a remorseless vigilante driven solely by a dark sense of justice, making him one of Spider-Man's most disturbing adversaries. At number 6 is the Lizard. Enter Dr. Kurt Connors, a brilliant army surgeon who paid a steep price for his dedication to saving lives. After losing his arm in the crucible of battle, Connors embarked on a desperate quest to regrow his missing limb. And his solution? A serum rooted in the DNA of reptiles, a decision that would forever change his destiny. The consequences were chilling. The serum transformed Connors into the grotesque Lizard, a hulking reptilian menace devoid of self-control. With his psyche imprisoned, Dr. Connors became a nightmarish force of nature, leaving destruction in his wake. Though Spider-Man made an antidote to quell his reptilian rampage, the specter of the Lizard continues to haunt Dr. Connors, persisting as one of Spider-Man's most poignant and terrifying foes. At number 5 is Vermin. Edward Whalen, a genius geneticist who endured a harrowing upbringing, dying under the cruel hand of his father, but ultimately Edward's brilliance would serve as the catalyst for his descent into the abyss of villainy. It was a sinister alliance with Baron Zemo and Primus that sealed his gruesome fate. Subjected to a diabolical experiment, Edward emerged as the grotesque Vermin, a rat-like abomination with the insatiable appetite for human flesh. Now, Vermin lurks in the murky depths of Manhattan's sewers, a denizen of the city's darkest underbelly. His once brilliant mind has been cruelly eroded, unable to even remember the life he once had. At number 4 is the Swarm. In the web of Marvel's rogues gallery, there exists a truly spine-tingling villain born from the annals of macabre imagination. Fritz von Meyer, an evil scientist with sinister ambitions, sought refuge in the depths of South America following the tumultuous end of World War II, and we can all guess which side he was on. His post-war existence, however, took a bizarre twist when he donned the mantle of a humble beekeeper, but fate had a malevolent design in store for Fritz. Beneath the tropical canopy, he stumbled upon a colony of bees, oddly mutated by some sinister force. In a grisly turn of events, Fritz's quest to subdue the colony led to his untimely demise as he was devoured alive by the very creatures he sought to control. All that remained in the end were his skeletal remains, yet his tale doesn't end there. In a truly nightmarish turn, the bees actually absorbed Fritz's consciousness, merging his with the swarming hive mind of their own, and the result was an abomination known as Swarm, a being composed of thousands of bees acting in macabre unison, each dancing to the nightmarish symphony of Fritz's malevolent will. At number 3, the Thousand. In the comics, few Spider-Man villains are as unsettling as Carl King, who actually started off as one of Peter's high school bullies alongside Flash. Now, he was one of the few who actually witnessed Peter Parker's spider bite, and then was the only one who witnessed Peter's newfound powers thereafter, and so he sought similar powers and actually went on to eat the radioactive spider that bit Peter in the first place. Kind of a weird way of doing it, and so instead of acquiring new abilities, he transformed into the Thousand, a nightmarish collective of cyclically linked spiders. These spiders infiltrate and control victims by consuming them from the inside. Carl's mother was the first victim, but many followed thereafter. The Thousand is a chilling reminder that in the Spider-Man universe, true terror often arises from unexpected sources, making them the most spine-tingling foes in the web-slingers rogues gallery. At number 2 is Carnage, also known as Cletus Cassidy, a name that chills the spine, because he's a man whose descent into darkness was inevitable. Born without superpowers, he wielded the horrific potential within his twisted soul. See, it all began when he was just a child, committing his first heinous act by sending his grandmother tumbling down a staircase. Just a glimpse into the malevolence that lay dormant beneath this character's psyche. The St. Estes Home for Boys, an ill-fated refuge, failed to contain his rage. The disciplinarian administration met their grim end at his hands, and a poor girl met her doom beneath the wheels of a bus, and thereafter he left the orphanage reduced to smoldering ruins. Cassidy's score count probably spiraled into the dozens by this point, but his malevolence met its match when he found himself behind the bars of Rikers Island, sharing a cell with none other than Eddie Brock. Venom's chaotic escape left an indelible mark as a fragment of the symbiote left behind by Venom had merged with Cassidy, birthing none other than the monstrous Carnage. From then on, the nightmare had only begun, unleashing a new terror upon an unsuspecting world. And at number 1 is Green Goblin. In the annals of Marvel Comics, few villains send shivers down the spine quite like Norman Osborn, unwitting creator of the maniacal Green Goblin. A quest for strength and intellect led to a catastrophic incident, granting Osborn great power but also shattering his sanity. As the Green Goblin, Osborn became not just Spider-Man's nemesis, but a threat to the entire Marvel universe. His reign of terror left a grim trail of casualties, none more tragic than the unaliving of Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's main love interest, which was a cold-hearted act just to torment Spider-Man. The Green Goblin's unpredictability, cunning, and ruthlessness make him one of Marvel's most enduring and fierce fearsome foes, a chilling reminder of the darkness lurking in Spider-Man's world. Remember, fear is subjective, and what might terrify one person might not terrify another, but in the world of Spider-Man, these villains have left an indelible mark on the wall crawler's psyche. So whether you're arachnophobic or an arachnophile, or just a casual fan, let me know if there's a scary Spidey villain that you think I've missed, and if this video does well enough, I'll include all of your suggestions in part 2. This has been AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Later, nerds.